So if you've been watching the news recently, the one thing you know for certain about the accused gunman in the massacre in Colorado over the weekend is that he was a crazed right-wing anti-trans extremist. This is a man who was radicalized by this show and by the Twitter account Libs of TikTok to hate transgendered people. And that's why this man walked into a bar, a gay bar, with a gun and started murdering people. He did that because he was taught by right-wing media outlets to despise and fear the non-binary community.
Hi, this is comedian Alonzo Bodden with another Rebel HQ TYT video. Guess what? Tucker Carlson is being funny. See, that's what they do. That's the technique. Tell the absolute truth, but make it sound sarcastic to eliminate any responsibility for how horrible a person you are. It works like this. I could say water is wet. And then you're like, well, yeah, that's the truth. But then I say, water is wet. See, now I'm being sarcastic, but it's still the absolute truth, right? Yeah, Tucker, we know the technique. The problem is it only works on your cult. And that is the problem, isn't it? Your cult thinks you're funny. Yes, Tucker, you and people like you are responsible for radicalizing the shooter at Club Q in Colorado, a mass murderer who hated people simply for being gay. The problem with you cowards is you'll say something, you'll cry about free speech, and then when you're called out for the responsibility of what you said, oh, I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. You're a snowflake. Yeah, it's always someone else, isn't it, Tucker?
And that's why this show and Libs of TikTok must be hauled into court and bankrupted for what we've done so that we can never provoke this kind of horrifying violence ever again. That's the real lesson of this mass shooting.
Now, I have a fan, well, he says he's a fan on Instagram, who called me out. He said, you didn't talk about the Walmart shooter because he's black. You only talk about the white shooters and the white mass murderers. No, I didn't talk about the Walmart shooter because I hadn't done another video. And besides, I was going to give Thanksgiving weekend to see, how many more mass shootings we could get. It was a long weekend. There had to be a few more, right? Listen, for the record, mass shooters are horrible, be they black, white, or anything else. Now, I do find it interesting that you think a black mass shooter makes a white mass shooter okay, but that's your problem, not mine. No, the Walmart shooter was horrible, but I will tell you the difference. The Walmart shooter, in his mind, and his mind is definitely broken, it was personal. He had a list of people he wanted to shoot and a reason to shoot them. That is not the same as going out and shooting people because they are black or they are gay or they are Latino or they are whatever other group Tucker and his boys have told you to hate this week. That's the difference. That is a hate crime. That is terrorism. Now, let me be clear on this. The Walmart shooting was a terrible shooting of innocent victims. Some who had worked at Walmart for years, some who had only worked there for a few months, but they were all people who just went to work. That was their only crime, and they were murdered for it, and that is horrible. Let me be clear. It is ridiculous that this is another shooter that was able to buy his guns and go on a murderous rampage the same day. You can buy your gun in the morning and go murdering by noon. It is utterly ridiculous. We have a problem here. But this isn't what we're talking about with Tucker Carlson and the radical right and radicalizing these hateful murderers. Those people are domestic terrorists, okay? I pointed out to this man, the government has said the biggest domestic terrorists we have are these white supremacists and white hate organizations, and they've murdered more people in America than any other terrorist group. To which he said, well, I agree with Malcolm X, who said the government are domestic terrorists. Okay, first of all, this guy ain't agreeing with Malcolm X on anything. Second of all, I'm sure Malcolm would have had a bigger problem with white supremacist groups killing white people than the government. The justification is unbelievable, but you know what it is? It's that old right-wing trick, misdirection. Hey, I'm on your side. I'm going to mention the Malcolm X. Yeah, that's the ticket. The problem is these simple Jedi mind tricks that the right-wing media, the right-wing Congress people, the right-wing hate mongers use work on the cult. It wasn't news. It was just an opinion piece, right? That's Sean Hannity loves the opinion piece routine. Even Tucker Carlson's lawyer said a reasonable person would not believe Tucker Carlson. And then they'll say, I was just kidding, or I was being sarcastic, or their favorite, you were a snowflake because what I said bothers you. Why don't you just step up, okay? Own it. Own it. If you want to say it, own it, okay? And you talk about the left wings trying to put you out of business. No, Advertisers don't want to be associated with you, Tucker. So why don't you go after the advertisers that would be associated with you? Why don't you go after the gun manufacturers, go after who makes bulletproof backpacks, because we think that's normal to kids to have to wear those to school. And of course, you can get the My Pillow guy. He's always going to be there for you, Tucker. Sell some pillows. You know, Tucker, you're a piece of garbage. You absolutely endorse this, and you're not even man enough to say you endorse it. You back off and pretend it's sarcasm. Tucker Carlson, you are a piece of trash. Whoa, I mean, Tucker Carlson, you're a piece of trash. Was that how you do it, Tucker? I was being sarcastic.